In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. In the next scene, we see a building with a shameful facade, like a man lying on his back with erected genitalia within the darkness. Suddenly, the sky opens spirally and a hand comes out of it towards the building. From the crack next to the hand, the light of Illuminati shines on the scene. In the highest part of the aforementioned building, we see a small window resembling the window of a prison, next to which we see a red blinking light in the shape of a heart. There's a cross on top of the prison, and behind its window, we see a naked, old, and senile woman. Then the light of the Illuminati first shines on the window, then on the walls of the prison, frightening the old woman who escapes backwards with her walking stick. At the end of the scene, the prison wall begins to collapse and we see many tally marks down on it, meaning that the old woman has been imprisoned here for a long time. Suddenly, the old woman comes out of her menopause and begins to bleed due to having period. This scene is one of the most complex scenes of the animation and needs to be analyzed in layers as well. In the first layer of the analysis, we realize that this scene is pointing towards the sexual debauchery issue. The form of the building, which resembles a man's genitalia, and the nakedness of the old woman confirms this notion. In the second layer, the blinking heart-shaped light plays an important role. The red blinking heart next to the prison window is pointing towards the heart of the Antichrist. Because, as we had mentioned, the heart pictured in the scene of the classroom is anomalous and unnatural. Hence, in this scene as well, the red heart is the opposite of the holy heart and is in the sense of an evil and Antichrist's heart. On the other hand, the red blinking color is the symbol of brothels in many European and American cities where whores are active and is called the red light district. One of the well-known areas in this regard is the red light district in Amsterdam, Netherlands, in which there are various brothels next to one another. In this scene of the animation, the red blinking light next to the prison window means that the person inside is a prostitute. For the third layer analysis of this scene, we should point towards the tally marks on the prison wall. These tally marks show that the promiscuous old woman has been in this prison for many years, and the walking stick in her hand and her old senile face point to this fact as well. In the fourth layer analysis of this scene of the animation, we should indicate that this part is pointing towards the tale of the whore of Babylon in the book of Revelations. In chapter 17 of the book of Revelations, it is said that one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came and said to me, "Come, I will show you the punishment of the great prostitute, who sits by many waters. With her the kings of the earth committed adultery, and the inhabitants of the earth were intoxicated with the wine of her adulteries. Then the angel carried me away in the spirit into a wilderness. There I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was covered with blasphemous names, and had 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was dressed in purple and scarlet, and was glittering with gold, precious stones, and pearls. She held a golden cup in her hand filled with abominable things, and the filth of her adulteries. The name written on her forehead was a mystery: Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes, and of the abominations of the earth. I saw that the woman was drunk with the blood of God's holy people, the blood of those who bore testimony to Jesus. When I saw her, I was greatly astonished. Then the angel said to me, "Why are you astonished?" I will explain to you the mystery of the woman and of the beast she rides, which has the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast which you saw once was, now is not, and yet will come up out of the abyss and go to its destruction. The inhabitants of the earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life from the creation of the world, will be astonished when they see the beast, because it once was, now is not, and yet will come. Within many Christian denominations, it is believed that the whore of Babylon shall be freed once more at the time of the apocalypse and continue her corruption and prostitution. It seems that in this scene of the animation, the old woman, who is the symbol of lust and debauchery, is in the sense of the liberation of the whore of Babylon at the end of time with the aid of the Illuminati. This is because when the light of the Illuminati shines on the walls of the prison, it causes their collapse. Furthermore, the old woman having her period at the time of her menopause means her rejuvenation and reactivation of her youth. Hence, various elements within this scene confirms its link with the whore of Babylon and her rejuvenation and reactivation at the end of all time by the hands of the Illuminati and Freemasonry. In the 5th layer analysis of this scene of the animation, they have tried to cryptically draw the attention of their Freemason and Illuminati audience towards the embodiment of the whore of Babylon in the 3rd millennia. The true embodiment of the whore of Babylon in this age is none other than the corrupt, deviated, and Kabbalist American singer Madonna. In truth, she is the personification of the whore of Babylon in the 3rd millennium era. This female singer has crossed various red lines in corruption and debauchery, and even today, at the age of 61, she continues her illegitimate relations outside the circle of marriage. She even showed her pride towards such actions when they were uttered in television programs and still insisted on committing such shameful acts. Madonna is also a Kabbalist and has vast relations with Zionist politicians around the world. In addition to her nefarious behavior, she has attempted to spread evil concepts as well. Hence, Madonna is the most obvious manifestation of the whore of Babylon at the time of apocalypse, who spreads corruption and destruction. In addition to her improper behavior and illegitimate sexual relations, she uses media tools to spread evil messages and behavioral corruption among youngsters and encourages them towards debauchery and depravity. In the 6th layer of the analysis of this scene, we face an issue that strengthens the link between Madonna and the whore of Babylon. In the animation developer's website, the name of the old woman is Madame Q, and in her description, it is said that Madame Q's problem is sex, which have been aligned with shameful affairs. Although the expression Madame Q looks like a common one and in general refers to prostitutes, it gets fascinating when we know that Madonna herself released a music album titled Madame X in 2019, which has acquired a high rating in the famous music magazine called Q or Magazine Q. This high score of Madame X album in the Q magazine is very famous and has been cited on many websites. Hence, it seems that the expression Madame Q, which is used for the character of the old woman in this animation, is cryptically the short form of Madame X plus Q. Via both the animation I Pet Go 2 and music album Madame X in the Q magazine, this cryptic code is transmitting this message to all members of the Freemasons and Illuminati worldwide that they should pay more attention to Madonna's works as a resource for other Masonic mysteries and codes, which we shall analyze in the next layer of this scene. In the seventh layer of this scene of the animation, the messages sent by the Whore of Babylon through mass media has been indicated. One of the most important of these messages has been Madonna's dance and performance in Super Bowl 2012's halftime in the United States of America. This show in Super Bowl's halftime in the US is a very famous one and has been played back in a wide range of media and is performed by a famous American celebrity each year. In 2012, Super Bowl's halftime dance and music show was performed by Madonna as the main singer alongside some alternative singers such as Nicki Minaj. Various Masonic messages were transmitted to Freemasonry and Illuminati followers worldwide during this ceremony. In the first degree of importance, the dance and music ceremony of Super Bowl in the US in 2012 held a large significance because in 2012, the Regulus star moved from the Leo or Lion constellation to the Virgo or Lady constellation after 2,167 years. This event is very important in Masonic symbology and is in the sense of the beginning of the new Freemasonry age and large changes in Illuminati's plans. Hence, assigning the task of performing this show in the United States in that year to Madonna shows her high rank in the eyes of the Freemasons and the Illuminati. In the next level of importance, we see that various symbols regarding the Whore of Babylon have been used in Madonna's dress in this ceremony. At the beginning of the show, while a number of soldiers wearing ancient nations' uniforms enter the scene, they carry a chariot in which Madonna is sitting wearing a horned crown. There are treasures and glamorous items around her as she sits on the kingly golden seat to enter the scene and then starts performing. These scenes epitomize the Book of Revelation's descriptions regarding the Whore of Babylon. Furthermore, as the show continues, we see some dancing men wearing clothes resembling various old nations' attires start dancing around Madonna. These men are the symbols of kings in the Book of Revelations, and this image demonstrates the level of infatuation with which the kings of various ancient nations had relations with the Whore of Babylon as per the Book of Revelations. In addition, in some parts of the ceremony, we see the trio of Madonna, Nicki Minaj, and MIA performing the show, which symbolizes the three goddesses, ladies, witches, weird sisters, or the triquetra in pagan and infidel Illuminati beliefs. Of course, the symbology regarding the Super Bowl 2012 and other years' halftime show in the USA is more extensive than what has been mentioned so far. For instance, in 2015, Katy Perry performed the Super Bowl halftime show in which she entered the scene riding a large golden lion statue while holding its rein and singing. This notion symbolically shows the Virgo or Lady constellation's triumph over the Leo or Lion constellation after 2012. Certainly, the explanation of satanic and Masonic symbols in the United States Super Bowl halftime shows is beyond the scope of this discussion. In any case, it would generally seem that the Super Bowl halftime show in 2012, which was performed by Madonna featuring Nicki Minaj and MIA, is a symbolic emphasis on Madonna's role as the Whore of Babylon in the third millennia. She's been freed in the new age and has begun her wonderful deeds and spread of depravation, while celebrating the world's entry into the new Masonic age simultaneous with the passing of the Regulus star from the Leo constellation to the Virgo constellation. Considering Madonna's special role as the Whore of Babylon in the advancement of Freemasonry and Illuminati's goals in the third millennia, some important cryptic messages have been transmitted to specific audiences through her music albums. In other words, although in the eyes of many people in the world, Madonna is just a singer and dancer, her music albums contain hidden messages for members of the Freemasonry and Illuminati, which are transmitted to their specific audiences. For instance, in one of her music videos titled Frozen, various hidden messages are presented to the Masonic audience. The music video that was made in 1998 had various encrypted Masonic elements. In this music video, Madonna is doing a dancing ritual with a black dress, which shifts to a black dog or a flock of crows. This shape-shifting is one of the most important elements associated with demons. Furthermore, in many parts of this music video, there are three Madonnas singing and dancing next to each other, which is reminiscence of the three women, witches, ladies, or the triquetra in the painting Three Women and Three Owls by Juanita Guccione, and also the play Macbeth by William Shakespeare, all of which are pagan and infidel symbols. Furthermore, the flight of crows through the sky is also a type of Masonic journey towards the satanic light of Illuminati, which was also depicted in Juanita Guccione's painting. The other important notion in this music video is the Om sign, which is a symbol of the seventh chakra in Hindu and Buddhist beliefs. This symbol is also linked with the crown sephiro of the Kabbalah and the color purple. Hence, this sign being demonstrated by the Kabbalist Madonna is another indication that within her lyrics, she is asking for the Antichrist's aid and wants him to reach the Kabbalah tree's crown sephiro and crown himself in Jerusalem. This notion is in line with the symbols used in Juanita Guccione's painting, as well as other content used in previous scenes of the animation. But the most important cryptic symbology used in this music video is the reference to the Orion constellation, the Orion belt, and most significantly the Sirius star as the most important star of the Canis Major constellation. Because this cryptic code is related to the events of September 11th, 2001. In some part of the Frozen music video performed by Madonna, we see that in the expanse of the sky, the Orion or the Hunter constellation is visible, and the Sirius star from the Canis Major installation is placed in line with Orion's belt. Sirius alignment with the three stars on the Orion belt mostly happens every year in September, and we had alluded to it in the previous sections of our analysis of the animation Decoded 2, in which the director had critically pointed towards the link between the Canis Major and the Sirius star to the events of September 11th, 2001. Furthermore, the existence of a big dog in the Frozen music video is another cryptic reference to the Canis Major, or the Greater Dog constellation, and its famous star, Sirius. It's fascinating that the color of this dog is black and corresponds with Harry Potter's stories, in which there's a character called Sirius Black. Thus, we can realize that the Frozen music video performed by Madonna, while corresponding with the Harry Potter stories and the initial parts of this animation, all share the same source and origin, and all of them transmit the same message to their members by the Illuminati. The aforementioned message is that the events on September 11th, 2001 were done by Freemasonry and Illuminati in order to begin their apocalyptic operations for the inauguration of the Antichrist in the advent of the third millennia. It's fascinating that the Frozen music video was made and published in 1998, meaning 3 years before the beginning of Illuminati's movements in September 11th, 2001. In truth, the necessary codes for preparations of this event was sent to the members of the Illuminati via works such as the Frozen music video, Harry Potter stories, and so on. In addition to visual symbols, the words used in Madonna's Frozen music video again indicate the cryptic symbols used in this work. For instance, the name of this music video is in accord with the cold and frozen atmosphere at the end of all time. Furthermore, expressions that are seemingly addressing the love are in truth addressing the Illuminati and Freemasonry, or in a better interpretation, addressing the Antichrist himself. These are all confirmations on the cryptic nature of all elements and pillars of the Frozen music video. Thus, we realize that despite the fact that the director of the Go 2 animation himself is a Freemason and member of the Illuminati, and he has hidden various secrets and codes within various information layers of this animation, he has also indicated other key Kabbalist characters in order to further develop the codes, create a more complex web of cryptic information, and send very important messages to his audience. In this instance, Madonna is a Kabbalist on the one hand and has confessed to this notion various times by making large donations to Kabbalistic organizations. She is the embodiment of the whore of Babylon, and in addition to deep debauchery and depravity, she's had very good relations with the corrupt leaders of the world such as Shimon Peres and Benjamin Netanyahu, and thus has gained the attention of this animation's director, with a special scene devoted to her. Of course, it seems that soon with the destruction of Freemasonry and Illuminati's plans, the remnants of depravity and corruption of followers of Satan shall fade from earth, and evil and corrupt singers such as Madonna and her imitators shall burn deep within fires of hell. In the next scene, we see the Antichrist exiting the mouth of the cave and entering an area filled with the Illuminati light. Meanwhile, the cave's ceiling is collapsing. This means that, in the view of the Freemasons and other followers of the devil, the Illuminati light melts the ice and destroys the frozen state of the end of all time. The other important point in this scene is that there are two pillars of ice in the cave's entry, which have spiraled up to its ceiling. These two pillars resemble the helical DNA and symbolically indicate that the time of the Antichrist rise and rebirth is close after his awakening from his 1,000 years of slumber.